Thank you. First, I'm very pleased to be here on this very important topic with such a distinguished crowd. I'll probably be a bit provocative here today. And from our point of view, we consider that right after the crisis, the G20 didn't ask the right question. The right question, before I mention it, actually the question in a nutshell that was raised by the G20 was how can finance not hurt society again? Well, we would have preferred to hear how can we put finance back at the service of society. Asking these second questions would have allowed to reflect on 25 years of financialization and deregulation and how that has impacted the size and nature, the purpose of financial services, disconnecting it from the need of society and real economy. So, in our view, the post-crisis reform agenda was a huge missed opportunity, probably due to a lack of coordination and cohesion among progressive forces and financial reform advocates. I'll come back to this point later. Now, I would like to make three brief points. The first one is that financial institutions are still not sustainable themselves. I mean by that, they're not stable and they're not secure. The second point is for financial institutions to serve sustainability. What we need is a reform of the structure, not just some small, neat, growing niches. And the third point is that Finance Watch has initiated an ambitious European project to contribute to building a pragmatic agenda to make finance serve society. It is called the Citizen Dashboard of Finance. Now, on the first point, financial institutions are not sustainable. Now, on one hand, of course, they engage in corporate social responsibility efforts. But on the other hand, at the same time, they do lobby hard, and we see that every day in Brussels, to weaken regulation and avoid measures to protect citizens from another crisis. I'll just take one example out of actuality. The European Banking Federation last week on September 1st, talking about Basel IV. Basel IV is some kind of regulation. Actually, it's not Basel IV, it's Basel III recalibration. I'll stop on the technicals. But basically, the EBF has said publicly that if Basel IV goes through, it would require an additional 900 billion euros in new equity for banks. This number is just a scaremonger figure. Actually, I do thank publicly today the EBF for having come with that figure, because they have put a price tag, an amount, on the actual regulatory arbitrage game that some banks have been playing. In other words, they have lowered their capital requirements with what we call internal rating-based models. Now, what do we need for financial institutions to serve sustainability? Two things. The first thing, and I'll mention it briefly because it was already presented by Simon Zadek, and again, I want to thank the extremely excellent work done by UNEP Inquiry. So we need to make the most out of the current momentum. And second, and that will lead me to my last point, we need to build a strong alliance or coalition of actors for a longer-term, more ambitious agenda to align finance with sustainability. So that's the project that we have embarked on. It's called the Citizen Dashboard of Finance. You can get it on the website. There is a demonstration website. It's www, then in one word, citizensdashboardoffinance.org. What is it about? So it's a platform. It's a platform to bring together actors that do support a financial reform agenda to put it back at the service of society. So it's composed of civil society organizations, it's composed of academics, it's composed of pioneers from the industry, both on the demand side and on the offer side, and of course policy makers. Basically, it does three things. It builds a common narrative, vision, diagnosis of the current state of the financial systems, where it comes from and where it should go. Second, it built a set of indicators that brings facts and data to this diagnosis and allow to measure progress from the current state to the future state. Third, it will build an agenda of change solutions available to improve those indicators, regulatory proposals, voluntary actions, etc. So right now, the Citizen Dashboards of Finance is gaining momentum, especially because we have recently joined the Green Economy Coalitions. And I would make sure that today my key message is that there will be more people joining this initiative. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.